fronted the city? Falcone or Riddler?
But that
Who
all
fronted the city?
It was the Riddler.
Okay.
But the Riddler was already in jail.
Okay.
The Riddler was already locked up.
Who?
If you continue to fight, what will you become?
Jamal the Great on the beat. KKK. You already know what it is. For those who don't know, now you know. I go by the name of Dreamy Alpha, and I'm always here with my brother, my buzzin'. Not really my buzzin', he's really my blood brother, so.
The most honorable Brian Meeses, guys.
Y'all make sure y'all cop his shirts, man. He gave me a few of them Jones. That used to be one of my favorite shirts to wear. So make sure you check him out, follow him, and make sure y'all look at his video about how he thinks this Batman is the worst Batman
superhero movie of all time, bro. Facts.
I do not agree with him. But this is why we're coming with you with a new spoiler discussion review of this movie, because we thought it'd be interesting to have a video about someone who really loved the movie versus someone who hated the movie for everything that it is, and just put it on YouTube and, you know, just talk about it, because this is how me and Brian is, like, maybe on like 50% of the movies, but like some of the movies, like, we really do agree on. If we really do agree on it, that joint was probably 5.
And here's the thing, like,
anyway,
people to like opinion I'll respect about any kind of fandom. Like, for example, I was out the Star Wars fandom. You guys saw our videos before about the Boba Fett and the Mandalorian, or whatever. Like, this guy got me back to watching Star Wars. So like, there's very few people opinion I'll even trust when it says to watch something. You know what I mean? Like, I'll just disregard.
Yeah, but everybody got their own opinion. You know what I'm saying? And this is why we bringing up the Batman movie. I feel as though, as a cinematographer major in, you know what I'm saying, college, and really getting to study film and how the layouts of something is presented to you, that to me this movie is cinematic genius. Now, it's not better than Christopher Nolan Dark Knight trilogies, but I wanted, to me, you feel me, if you want to say it's up there, that's your own opinion, that's cool. But to me, it's the best Batman we've gotten in a long time. To me. Now, how do you feel?
That was the exact opposite, and I really wanted to be like, I'm a guy that, you know, you rock my YouTube channel. I always like to crap on DC, but I'm a really big Batman fan. Like, I'm actually been writing several Batman movies, like, diligently. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah,
Batman, yeah.
I thought you was doing the Hood Wars.
The Hood Batman, Hood Star Wars and Hood Batman.
Oh, Hood Batman. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm with it.
You know?
I got Hood Batman. He didn't call it Batman, but we got one.
I told you about Hood Batman, bro.
No, I'm not talking about Hood Batman. I'm talking about the other movie that we're working on. For the album.
I got you.
He's not Hood Batman, but he's Hood Batman.
Yeah. I got you. Yeah. So,
but yeah. Anyway, I think you should start off and just, you know, try to. Do you want to go scene for scene?
You can go scene for scene, but like one of the things people have to say, like, well, because like the one major part that like it's irritating that like it lacked like action. It was a very slow paced movie, for example. Okay, and you don't really get to see much of Batman and much of Bruce Wayne at all in the movie. Those are irrefutable points.
Okay, see, and this is where me and your thoughts differ, because everything that you disliked about the movie, I liked about the movie. You know what I'm saying? I like that it was very slow paced, because I've been studying the Godfather movies like lately and stuff like that, and just really watching them. And if you notice in the Godfather, a lot of those scenes for real are just like the camera's right there, letting the whole thing happen. Like, even like in the first,
but that's like the Godfather. It's like,
I know
people say like,
but this movie wasn't necessarily meant to be an action-packed Batman movie to begin with. I feel like the way that it was presented in a way where we're saying, okay, we know that Batman can whoop ass, kick ass. Let's skip past that and let's really explain the detective side of Batman. Now, for us who have high IQ levels, we're gonna figure out a lot of the riddles fast, you feel me? But the thing about it is, I liked how those little riddles, when Batman discovered what the pun was, which was fast, what those puns leaded to.
The first riddle I actually did like. That one got me. Like,
he lied still?
Yeah. That one got me. The rest of them were just...
That first scene, that's what I liked about the movie for real, because from us being from the third perspective, we're able to see, yo, why can't Batman, he should be able to understand what the Riddler is trying to say, but him so focused on thinking that Thomas Wayne, Martha Wayne were these great, bright, you know what I'm saying, people like that he really looked up to as their parents, weren't really the greatest people that they were looked at.
That was
like,
cool.
You know
like,
what I'm
that
saying?
was cool.
But because he looked at them like that, he missed all of the obvious clues that told him the whole thing. Even the building where the bat signal was getting put up, it was literally the broken down building of the renewal project. The project that his father was supposed to start. And the fact that that building is destroyed and that's what they're using for the bat signal, that means the Batman is passing by this shit every day and he's thinking, oh, the renewal project is, but he's ignoring that fact because his parents are dead and he just wants to beat the shit out of low-level petty thugs at this point in Batman's career. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm not saying the movie is completely devoid of any like actual substance or any good parts. But it's a 3-hour movie. You know what I mean? So like,
I think you're thinking of it as a super hardcore comic correct.
Not even
Batman.
That. Not
fan.
even that.
I think I'm looking at it as, okay, really fuck Batman. Let's look at this as a cinematic piece, just something we could watch and
not even that. I think people. It's not even that. Like,
think about that first clue. Think about that first clue. Okay. The first clue is that he says he lies still, right? Batman goes everywhere. Once he gets that idea, he goes to see the Penguin for real, right? Where he runs into Catwoman and stuff. He's talking to everyone, but the Batman doesn't even understand the pun that everyone who he's talking to, who he's interrogating, you feel me, like, are still lying to him. Like, even though they're being happy, they're lying to him. And it was interesting even seeing like him for the first, you could tell that was the first time this nigga decided he was going to go into a club and just start whooping niggas asses, because he was, when he walked through that front door,
it's like
the first niggas, he was like this, he was like, oh.
As a
like,
casual Batman fan, which we're not, even as a casual Batman fan,
yeah.
If you go into a Batman movie and see the Penguin, you don't automatically think, well, this guy's obviously lying. Like, was that too hard to like anticipate? Or like Falcone's gonna be lying.
This is the beginning.
Doesn't matter. I'm just saying, like,
no. But listen how they tie that in. This is the beginning of. This is in.
So nothing came as a surprise. I'm trying to say for that. Then the actual the Penguin came as a surprise whatsoever.
No.
What they're supposed to do.
This is the misdirect though. If you didn't catch it, all the way to the El Rata part. They thought that Penguin was lying, but then they figured out he only lied about that first part. He really doesn't understand the whole operation. Like,
I didn't say he did. I'm just saying, but
that was the misdirect though, because they made us think that, oh, this is Penguin. We know he's lying. But then you get to that part of the movie and you realize, oh, Penguin really is dumb as everybody. He really doesn't know. He doesn't know
always
too
been
much.
second string. Like, obviously the Riddler was the main villain. Like, you know what I mean?
The misdirect.
And the Penguin had more character development in this movie than the Riddler did. More screen time.
I think it was meant to be like that though.
And that had nothing to do like a misdirect. That was
no. Because this movie, at the end of the day, we don't know anything about this Batman. So that tells me that this is an origin.
What do we know about Batman? Like, I'm glad the movie skipped an origin story. That was one of the.
But this was the origin. They were using the Riddler to show you the layout of the underworld of this new Gotham. You get what I'm saying? And through this movie,
but your reality is not that much different from any other Batman movie.
No,
I mean any other Batman
in
movie.
the Christopher Nolan movies, Batman was gung ho. He already knew that these niggas I'm not fucking with. The Falcone niggas, I don't fuck with them. Off bucks, like that was already his vengeance. He knew who had something to do with his parents dying, all of that. This Batman didn't know. He didn't know the inner facets of how his parents died, and that's what the movie tried to lead us through, understanding what got his parents killed to begin with. Even the Riddler killing that new politician who was already governor or running for governor or whatever it was, or mayor, he killed him 20 years after Thomas Wayne died. strategically because he knew that would trigger something in the Batman for real. He waited 20 years. Maybe he didn't wait 20 years. He maybe waited 2 years because Batman had only been out for 2 years. But he had, the long story short is, what it's telling you is he had time to think about this. You know what I'm saying? And the way he killed the first politician to put on all the walls, all the renewal project, his lies, then the Batman continues to pass by all that shit, trying to figure out why isn't. This was even actually before that, but before that in the movie, he's thinking, why am I making a good effect on anything? He's beating the shit out of everybody, but nothing is working. Like he still has to. He feels like he's fighting even more. So now this movie was like, even I feel like the Riddler was really an ally. He really was. He wasn't the main, like he was the main villain, but at the end of the day, the Riddler won because he still got the Batman to do what he needed to do to understand the real underworld of Gotham, so that way he could really make a real effect and change.
I don't even think that it took all that to do that, because like everybody knows, including a person that lives there, that the Gotham is a crappy place. It's been a crappy place. It wasn't less that like people want to say like this movie shows that like Batman's fighting like a hopeless battle. Batman's always been hopeful in a hopeless battle. What made it, the only reason why it made it seem like more hopeless, because in this case, Batman was far less competent and far less capable physically than any other Batman we've seen. That's what probably helped drive that point home. Not the story. That wasn't the story, because every other Batman situation was, even compared to Dark Knight, it was actually shittier. It was shit. Gotham was a shittier place to be compared to this new one. Like,
but that Batman understood the inner workings of the city. You get what I'm saying? The only reason why the Dark Knight was so great was because that was the first thing that Batman didn't understand. You get what I'm saying?
Doesn't understand? He's been fighting crime. He has technology. He's been Batman for 2 years. You know what I mean? Like where in Batman Begins, Batman been Batman for what, 2 weeks?
Nah, he wasn't Batman for 2 weeks.
In the first Batman movie.
If you notice in Christopher Nolan, you may not catch it, but he does a lot of time jumps. Like, it's a lot of time jumps that happen. Like, even like in The Dark Knight Rises, like, there's a point in the movie.
No, there's a couple of months, yeah.
Yeah,
I know.
In that one, no, in the Batman Begins one.
When he actually becomes an established Batman character.
Nah, he had already been, in that Batman.
I think it was like 2 weeks, if I'm not mistaken.
It
wasn't a few months.
It was a few months.
Of him fighting crime as like the Batman character, with him and the Scarecrow, that was like a 2 week period. Because he met his girlfriend or whatever the case may be.
Nah, he was still, that Falcone case was going on, and he decided he was going to try to kill Falcone at the court case and shit. You feel me? But he was still going around, like hiding around. He was being a Batman. He looked more like Catwoman for real. He was going around with the ski mask type shit. He wasn't even doing. And then the time jump happens. He talks to Lucius Fox, and then they get him all these new texts and stuff. But if you didn't notice it, but time was going by. It wasn't 2 weeks. It was more like a few months.
In neither case, he wasn't Batman for that long, right? But my biggest issue, on top of all that, not even so much even the lack of action, right, or the bad choreography, right? It was like people say it was a detective movie, all right. It was very lowbrow writing. I like to reference like movies like from Jordan Peele, like Get Out or Us. Those movies rely heavily on misdirection and even take too much effort. Like for example, in the Us movie, the villain's in front of your face the entire time, where like the girl goes and squeezes that girl's neck, right, and whatever. And then like it fast forwards to the future. And it was like, well, what happened to the girl? Like you think, but then the movie does a great job of making it seem like, the main character is not the actual villain or the doppelganger. You know what I mean? The entire time, just keep reinforcing that because all the crazy stuff that happens does a good job of reinforcing that fact. And this, when you do a detective movie, you really gotta drive in that mystery, the mysteries in, and then those curveballs that like really blow your mind. And that movie was devoid of that. The only good part of the story that I felt was again like the backstory of Thomas and Martha Wayne. We never really got that. I thought that was brilliant, but by the time we're 2.5 hours in the movie, I mean, do all this dog crap. You know what I mean? But
I don't think that it was dog crap. I like that they use that to. I enjoy seeing movies where they can explain the world through dialogue. Like I've seen Batman do like pretty much every trick possible for real.
Alright, it's like this. It's like like how you didn't have to like give like an origin story for Batman. You didn't have to give an origin story for Gotham either. At all.
Yeah, you did.
How? How?
Because I feel like
What's more important, Batman or Gotham?
Gotham.
How? It's Batman. Is the movie called Gotham or called Batman?
It should be called Gotham.
There's a TV show called Gotham that's focused more on Gotham.
But I feel like that's the thing though.
So
that
like,
the movie,
it's not about Gotham. It's about Batman.
No, it's about what Batman is fighting up against. He's trying, at this point in the movie, he's writing down his notes. He's trying to remember everything that's happening. He's trying to figure out why he's not really making a difference. And the main riddle that the first riddle that the Riddler gives him, he says he lies still, which means that the reason why the Batman isn't even making a difference here, not only because of his vengeance side and you know what I'm saying, ensuing this violence in the streets, but it's also because the foundation of Gotham was built on a lie.
I mean, that's like the point. That's the point of all the Gotham movies are built off lies. Like,
but this
had no greater impact. And what specific way did that lie of everything?
Because this
like,
Batman
even to this day, I still feel like the emotional pull of like the Commissioner Gordon with the having to lie about Harvey Dent. I still feel and understand that. Like, it's better to die a hero and leave yourself to come. That's still impactful to this day. The new Batman movie has nothing like that, bro. Nothing like that.
Yeah, it does.
How? Like, what's as profound as that new Batman movie?
All right, the ending part, where Catwoman saves Batman, right? And he uses like, it looked like a Bane serum or whatever. And he gets up and he starts beating the shit out of the dude, and Commissioner Gordon rips him off of him and takes the mask off the guy, and they ask, "Who are you?" And the nigga says, "I'm vengeance." And that's when it really hit Batman, like, oh shit. You know what I'm saying?
That isn't as impactful as what I just said.
Yes, it is.
For Harvey Dent, really?
It is.
How? You guys, please comment. This guy's tripping.
No. I don't think
this guy's tripping heavy, bro.
I don't. Again, like I said before, I don't think this movie is better than The Dark Knight.
No, but I'm saying that when, like, there's impactful moments from the Batman
I don't think
movie.
you can.
Like, for example, even with like the Robin from The Dark Knight Rises, you can't compare. You know why? Because it's a Batman movie.
No,
like if I can compare to any, no.
It's a sequel.
I'm saying
it's a sequel.
Even the individual Batman movie. There's you can't make certain conditions, like you can't do that because, like, okay, if I'm comparing this Batman movie to Spider-Man No Way Home, you can say, well, that's an internal movie, even though it's still a freaking superhero movie. But I'm also comparing a Batman movie to another Batman movie, which is like a the most fair comparison I can make.
Tom Holland wasn't the same Spider-Man as Tobey Maguire.
You can still compare those Spider-Man movies, and guess what? They all work well together.
You really can't.
You can't. You know why? They're Spider-Man. People say, "Who's your favorite Spider-Man?"
Andrew Garfield was
Andrew Garfield.
Andrew Garfield was a good Spider-Man, but I don't think his movies were that good. But anyway, that's besides the point.
They all sold very well.
These Batman movies were complete, you know what I'm saying, parallels to each other. Again, like I said,
not in a good way.
In Christopher Nolan's Batman already understood the entire layout of the inner workings of the city. In this one, he didn't understand the entire workings. He was literally just...
But Batman's a guy of competence, and to drive that part home a little bit more, right? For example, at the beginning of the movie, it shows that Batman has gadgets, technology, that we never see again in the movie. Like how he deciphers like the whole crossword puzzles using his brilliance. That just goes erased for the rest of the movie. True or false? True or false? The answer: true or false? True or false?
Brilliance?
Like his technology and his savviness they showed in the beginning of the movie, like using his computer to like solve riddles, was never seen in the rest of the movie. True or false? Just say true or false. Please don't allow a camera. True or false? Is yes or no?
I don't know that.
True or false?
True. No.
Okay.
Not true. Not my fault. False. I'm thinking.
How?
I'm thinking my truth. I'm thinking my truth right now.
No, the truth was the technology that Batman was using in the beginning of the movie. Like, for example, using the computer to like decipher codes or riddles. Seen in the rest of the movie. True or false?
It was in smaller ways.
It was not.
This was still an early Batman.
Give me an example.
All right, so for example, if you see the first time he shows up to that funeral with that old school car as Bruce Wayne, you realize that the Batmobile is literally one of the muscle cars that was already in his house that he probably been working on himself. You get what I'm saying?
The Batmobile was in the beginning of the movie. That's a Batmobile, like.
I get that, but what I'm saying is that if you really learn and pay attention to the details, you understand that this Batman didn't have a Lucius Fox or a really plausible reason. This was a guy who was mentally gung-ho.
How does that explain my question?
He's doing everything by himself.
He had Alfred.
He's not Tony Stark.
He had Alfred. I'm just saying, like,
Alfred's cool, but Alfred
and this guy went home.
Alfred doesn't have the accent. He's not Lucius Fox. He doesn't have a Lucius Fox in this movie. The reason why Christopher Nolan had the reason why Christian Bale's Batman had access to all these things,
man, because
this Batman was doing, Batman. If you've ever seen
helping him,
and this is for me, right? A guy who makes props.
Clear the reflection here.
Remember that metal arm?
Bro.
Remember that metal arm that I had to build for that movie?
I know. I'm saying, bro.
Do you know how long it took me to build that?
Let's dial back. This guy's a billionaire. Let's dial back. I asked the question: did the technology that Batman used in the beginning of the movie, was it seen the rest of the movie? Yes or no, true or false? It's very clear that he did not use the technology. That's all I'm saying. Like, yeah,
I think
you start saying like, well, he didn't have Lucius Fox, whatever. I said no. It's a yes or no. The point is he did not.
He did.
Be Batman. Like,
he did.
Where was the technology?
Bro, it was in all of the simple things that he was doing. Such
as
the Batmobile.
The Batmobile was something in the movie. Like that was the Batmobile was just like the Batmobile, and all it was like a reinforced
muscle car. Which gives you the idea that
I'm talking about the computers. The computers.
He didn't need the computers for the rest of the movie. He needed other things.
Bro, what kind of plausible deniability is that, man?
Why would he need a computer
He's
for every
freaking
puzzle?
Batman. What he does?
What?
Yes.
Why?
He's Batman, dude. He does. He has like the bat radar.
He needs to use a computer for everything.
He calls his bat like copter. He calls his bat car. He does all that with his technology, bro. Like
this Batman don't got all that yet though.
He's a billion. He had it in the beginning of the movie. He had it at the beginning of the movie.
He had the whole bat.
He even had the Facebook deface like lenses on his eyes. That can tag people, and that was like in the first hour. Never seen again.
But he literally
never seen it
if
again.
you see it in that open no, you see it again because he puts it on Catwoman.
In the beginning of the movie.
No, at the end, Catwoman uses those same contact lenses to find Batman at the end of the movie.
I said, does Batman use it?
He didn't need to. He gave it to Catwoman.
I'm saying he doesn't use other forms of technology. Like it introduces technology that Batman's smart and savvy, and then just throws that whole premise away.
But this is
like that's an issue. That is an issue. It's like, for example,
that's not an issue
in our comic book, right? Zeke Firegun like has like fire powers, right? Mm-hmm. And then like he stopped using like added to the comic book. It was like, yo, bro, use your powers. You know what I mean? Like that's like what the hell?
I don't think. But
Batman's known for his freaking gadgets. True or false? True or false? True or false?
I want to be honest with you.
True or false? Before we go on, true or false?
He's also
true or false. It's say true or false, man.
But that's denying that he's not a detective,
bro.
That's denying that he's not a regular. He can't just use his mind as a detective.
He didn't use his mind either. I used more brain power in that movie than Batman did, bro.
You weren't in the movie.
But the point is,
you supposed to be Batman. Get in here, man.
He's supposed to be Batman. He's supposed to be competent. When I called Batman Homer Simpson, that means he was physically not as capable and physically and mentally incompetent, bro. That's my issue with Batman. It is not that hard to understand.
I'm gonna keep it a being. Batman was more of a cop detective.
That's what I'm saying.
If I know what you're saying. But I'm saying he was more like
this is an early Batman before he was more like
y'all mumble rap liking ass niggas, bro. Like I don't get y'all, bro. It's like y'all downgrade from like the Jay-Z and the Rockefeller to like the rap. You know what I mean? That's like what y'all say Batman is, bro.
That's not my favorite Batman.
This
is not my favorite Batman now.
It's like, bro.
The opening monologue allows you to understand that he's not.
This kill me.
If
we're gonna make superheroes worse,
that's exactly what I'm saying. Like,
get me out of here, bro.
If you miss the first monologue, he literally says that I'm not that. Like, he's not. He's
He's
clearly
only been
not.
Batman for 2
Yeah,
years.
he ain't got. But he not that
Other
he's been in
Batman
2 years.
have been Batman for less time.
No,
Like in
no,
the
not
first,
that he.
if
Not
Batman
that,
Begins.
It has nothing to do with the fact that he's been Batman for 2 years. It's the fact that he explains that he's not on that level now. He said, "Nigga, we just put a light up for me. Like we just put the bat signal up. We have a signal for me now. Like you know what I'm saying? Like
Batman didn't get a bat signal and to the end of Batman Begins. Put it out there, by the way.
that's
You're
cool.
welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
But that
You're welcome,
Batman
ladies and gentlemen.
Had Lucius Fox.
Huh?
This Batman was doing it
Why
himself.
are
It
you
was
making
him and
excuses
Gordon.
for a whack nigga being a whack nigga? Like, we gotta hold our people to expectations. I am not wrong for holding Batman to a high expectation.
Yusuf, how long did it take you to make that flamethrower?
A week.
He's
Exactly.
a regular dude, bro. He's not the Green Goblin. He's a regular dude. I'm talking about when you watch
I mean,
Batman. I want to
it
see
would've took
competence.
quicker
We
if
live,
Ryan had
we live in a day and age where men get stupid. Like again, it's the Simpson effect, right? Simpson was like how they try to like convince like the male household figure is stupid, incapable, not masculine, and we're like
I want to
applying that
ask
to
you though,
Batman.
Raymond, I want to ask you something though. How would that tech have helped him throughout the rest of the movie? Like
Plenty of ways, bro.
How?
Plenty of ways.
How?
And like,
let's get to the next.
you want to rewrite the movie for you and show you? Like,
Let's get to the next clue.
I'm
By
gonna
the
keep it a B now.
hold on. Let's get to the next clue. By
I
the
gotta
time,
go soon, man. Like,
nah, we go. I just want to get to the next clue first.
all right, let's go.
When he puts the dude in the cage with the rats or whatever, right? And that person has already been killed while Batman is trying to figure out Catwoman's entire life for real. While he does that, where in that clue after that says that he's gonna need the most advanced tech in the world? Where?
the point is,
When he goes and finds that the crime scene, the dead body, the rat cage, where in there does it say I'm gonna need some crazy tech?
That's
to do
all
this?
I go.
I'm
I'm saying that's also the point. This dude had less problems, easier problems to deal with, and still struggled to handle those.
What? How? He figured it out. He figured out.
No, let me tell you, because at the end of the movie, like he had the entire cop precinct in the Riddler's apartment. Nobody checked the floors. You never watched a 50 Cent video or a rap video in general, like nobody or Goodfellas. Nobody thought to check the floors of a crime scene. Who's paying these cops? Who's paying these cops?
Falcone, stupid.
I'm saying
That's what we're trying to
Falcone died after that.
It don't
Who
even
paid
matter.
him? Who paid him at that point?
It don't even
This happened
matter.
before. No, I'm just saying.
It doesn't even matter. The point of the movie.
And those
was
are all
that-
the cops that he didn't pay that showed up.
It
By the
was,
way.
that's not true. You don't know that.
Remember, Gordon says
He had. No,
you don't got all of us in your pocket when he pulled Falcone.
He still
out,
don't
out.
know that. That's like in the Dark
And he
Knight.
got and Falcone got shot.
Okay, so
it's
in the Dark
100%
Knight- in the
fair
Dark-
to assume he does not have all those cops in his pocket, and those cops were stupid, but smart enough to check the floors.
Primer.
They had. Hold on, let me finish.
Did you hear what Falcone was saying when they pulled him out? He said, "Nigga, I'll be out by the morning. I'm good. I'm cool.
They
I'm
all
good."
say that. But all the Falcone
no,
said in every
but
movie,
he
bro.
said I'm good, which means that all these cops that they think aren't there are really there.
Falcone had nothing to do with the Riddler's plans of what he had.
That's why the Riddler smoked his ass, because he knew that he had the cops in his back pocket, Brahma.
The Riddler did not have the cops in his back pocket, bro.
No,
Why
not
did
the
they arrest him?
Riddler. Falcone had the cops in his back
They
pocket.
smoked Falcone, but I'm just saying.
Riddler smoked Falcone.
I was talking
because
to
he knew
bro,
that he would
you see
get
how
out.
this guy,
He knew how he would get out.
This guy went and ran to Falcone. I'm talking about the Riddler. The Riddler had
Falcone
something.
was the real villain of the movie.
The Riddler was the real villain of the movie, bro. He's
No,
the one that
the
bombed
Riddler-
city.
the Riddler was an ally.
Who flooded the city? Falcone or Riddler?
But that
Who
all
flooded
helped.
the city?
It was the Riddler.
Okay.
But the Riddler was already in jail.
Okay.
The Riddler was already locked up.
Who staged the attack at the election? Falcone or the Riddler?
The Riddler.
Okay.
But he was already locked
you
up.
saw that? You saw what I just said, right? Okay.
That was
okay.
If you didn't understand
Alright.
that from a cinematic point, that was Batman dealing with everything that he helped create. The
Bro, I
vengeance
feel like
that
I'm-
he created in the streets. He had figured
And a
out who the
psychiatric
real
word
villain.
doing
He
this
figured
debate,
out.
bro.
He figured out who the real villain of the movie was, which was Falcone, and how he killed his
Bro,
father.
the first thing I texted this guy, right? when
He
said liked the
figures
movie,
out that Bruce Wayne
I said
killed
if
his
Batman
father.
was getting raped in the butt, he still defend this movie. It's like no matter what kind of
Whoa.
trash I bring up in this movie, he like, whoa, Falcone, whoa, the Riddler, whoa. I'm like, bro, It was whack, bro. It's whack.
So you're telling me
freaking whack.
You're telling me that
like they had access to the Riddler's computer and his social media and everything, and they knew that they were gonna attack the mayor-elect, and they still were like late to get there, bro. Like you had access for this guy's computer for a whole 24 hours. This guy Riddler's in jail, and you still
it
all
was
the
encrypted.
messages.
Stupid.
They had access. They saw it.
No, it was encrypted.
They unencrypted it, bro. The true or false?
Batman unencrypted it after he figured out the carpet under the floor. It was encrypted. He couldn't find out the password. That he had a whole social.
And nobody checked the floor. That's the problem. Nobody. Like, do you not check the floor of a crime scene of a guy that killed so many people?
Yeah, you would.
What? What?
Right.
This dude killed so many people. Killed Falcone. Try to kill Batman, try to kill Bruce Wayne with explosives, and nobody checks the floor. This guy had military-grade weapons in his apartment. Nobody checks the floor.
If they were not corrupt officers,
all around, incompetence and
they
bad
were
writing
corrupt
all around,
officers, Brima. They were all corrupt in the first crime scene. In the first crime scene, when he says he lied still, who's the first cop who comes in there? And it's like, what is the Batman doing here? The nigga's
cop out of it.
The nigga's corrupt. If you're a corrupt cop and you got crime scenes,
take the cops out of there, because I don't even care about the cops. Batman was stupid. I'm blaming Batman for not checking the floors. Take the cops out of it. Forget you, cops. Okay, I'll give the cops a pass. Let's say every cop, including Gordon himself, was paid off by Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos.
Gordon.
It's cool. I still blame Batman for not checking the floors, bro. You're supposed to be a genius, and you can't check the floors right away?
Nah.
Okay, all right, man. I digress. Can we end this video, man? Because
listen,
it's like no matter how much
Batman was the one who figured out.
No matter how much dog crap is in this joint, like, bro, it's like.
All right, final thoughts.
I'm not even like getting to like the stuff I really hate about the movie yet. Like stuff I really hate. Like the fact like the end of the movie where they got the bikes on the balcony. How do you get the bikes on the freaking balcony that happened in the air, bro? Based off like. That happens. That kind of stuff happens throughout the movie. There's a bunch of stuff like that. Like it makes no sense.
I didn't.
They're hype on a skyscraper.
But that doesn't make or break the movie for me.
It's just stupid stuff like that. Like this makes stuff make sense a little bit. Like it's just retardation all around.
Anyway, if you look at the movie and you see the cinematic greatness that is this movie, I don't think it's better than The Dark Knight.
It's disgusting.
But I think it's great. I think we should.
The worst movie of all time.
Hey, everybody, leave your comments below. And
tag
you know what I'm
us,
saying? Please tag us.
Feel free to attack me on my YouTube channel. I will love it,
or
guys.
Or feel free to attack me. Like, you feel what I'm saying? We don't really care, you know what I'm saying? Because we already attack each other. It ain't gonna get worse than this argument.
We brothers, and we still want to see each other up, man. So, like,
yeah,
I hope I'm wrong.
If we was arguing, I said, yo, we gotta make a YouTube video about it. We just gotta argue. But we already know. He already know I love him. I mean, screw Batman. We making our own movies.
Yeah, making our own Batman.
Holla at us.
Batman deserve this shit, man. The honorable brought me out here, man. My brother.
It's Dreamy Alpha. For those who don't know, now you know. This is the last order, and we out. Okay.